Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you. About a week ago, getting ready to fly back here, and Sunday hits, and I see that there's a shooting in California at the Gilroy Garlic Festival, and I followed that a little bit. Got back to Sweden on Tuesday, and just very quickly, another shooting at El Paso, Texas, at a Walmart, and then in less than 24 hours, a shooting in Dayton, Ohio. And I was reminded again about one of America's biggest problems. And, I title this one mass shootings in Sweden versus the United States because one thing that was really strong that I picked up and learned was leaving the United States and living in Sweden now for 7 years. I learned that mass shootings is not normal. Gun violence isn't normal. In my life alone, I've had a family member murdered with a gun. I've had my sister's friend involved in a mass shooting. Thankfully, she survived, but others did not. My grandparents' next-door neighbor murdered his family with a gun and then himself. I had a freshman in high school that I knew kill himself with a gun literally when I was playing outside with my friends in the next house over. I saw the police and everything come. So that's 4 times in my life that it was impacted. And I'm wearing this shirt because, this year in Pittsburgh, we had the shooting at this Jewish synagogue. And I'm tired of buying shirts. I'm tired of thoughts and prayers. And I didn't do a video for a couple of days because I was going to come on here and talk to you guys because in my heart of hearts, I was thinking the most sad thing about it is I really feel like we're not going to do anything about it. We're going to put our heads in the sand and let it happen again. And we'll talk about mental health problems in the United States. Or you can see, the gun lobbyists in the United States, the gun business in the United States is so huge. I mean, they're paying politicians. There's a reason Trump can't talk negatively about firearms while he's in office because he's not going to get reelected and he might lose funding with many politicians. So they talk about video games, which is just absurd because here in Sweden, we love our video games, and newsflash, there aren't kids killing each other left and right here. Sweden has seen an increase in gun violence in Gothenburg. I think that's fair to say, and we've had some issues there. Nowhere near to the same degree of the United States, and most of it has been gun violence. Sweden's not a perfect country. A bomb went off near my house. Luckily, no one was hurt. So I think it's fair to talk about those type of things. But just looking at the differences, the major one is just realizing that this is not normal. And I can see that now being outside of the United States, but I think people in America are very just numb to it. And you just see it happen and you expect it to continue to happen. And then on both sides, the problem happens. You have the pro-gun people that will never budge because they know deep down inside that most shootings and most deaths are involved by handguns. So they realize if assault weapons are taken away, they're fearful that handguns are next. And on the other hand, you have people that just want to take all guns. And there's 400 million guns in the United States, so I don't see all the guns magically disappearing overnight. But I ask you this. In the Dayton, Ohio shooting, for example, the man, both shooters had ear protection. But in the Dayton, Ohio shooting, the guy had a round, or had a clip that could hold 100 .223 rounds. I mean, .223 rounds are military type rounds. Of course, also can be used for hunting. But fired this, and luckily he wasn't able to get into the bar where he could have caused more damage. On what planet do you need 100 rounds for your protection? Maybe if you're the Terminator, you need 100 rounds. But an average person does not necessarily need an AR-15 to protect their family. You can make an argument it's not even safe to fire an AR-15 in your house for protection because the bullets could go through the walls. I understand shooting is fun. I mean, I grew up as a hunter. I think it's fun to fire firearms, but there is a lot of power that you have when you have those guns in your hands. And you'll have people talk. You'll have people say that we can't do anything. Look at these statistics. If we try to do anything, the numbers won't go down. We banned assault weapons before, and that didn't make a difference. But yet we see these shooters using assault weapons and using them at an alarming rate. And then we talk about mental health. We got mental health problems in Europe. People, not everybody's safe. Not everybody's sane, I will say. But we don't have mass shootings. We don't We did have an incident in Sweden where someone came in with a sword, but imagine if that was a gun. How much more damage that would have been. It just, to me, seems like common sense to try something. Because the right that we have to bear arms in the United States, okay, fine. Like, to have guns, I get it. But, I mean, did the forefathers really think that people were going to have 100-round clips that they could fire at each other? The political climate right now in the United States isn't perfect. I'm sure in this video you're going to see comments where people are going to call me a libtard or call Sweden stand and talk about problems with immigration and things like that. And Sweden's not perfect. We've had issues and things to deal with, but they'll talk about it at an alarming rate. And that kind of dark hole of YouTube of talking about things really, I think, is dangerous because it has people look at each other as the enemy. We got people in the United States that are in their base. So I'm a Trumper or I'm an anti-Trumper, and they look at each other like the enemy. We have people that are looking at each other with different skin colors as being different, and that's why I think it's just a dangerous road to walk down, because I honestly believe we're more similar than we are different, and everybody should be treated based on how they act. Like, if they break the law, then yeah, they should go to jail. But you'll see this is a war for your mind. Some of the people writing comments might be real people, some people might be trolls. I have no doubt that there's also foreign governments that are actually writing in the comments, Russian bots and things like that just try to cause a little bit more chaos. I saw it during the Swedish election when I was having videos. I think everybody should have the freedom to discuss things, but no good comes from just the arguing part of things. That just breeds more hate, and we just need to have common sense. If people in America cared about guns, the people that care about their gun rights cared as much about their fellow human being, can you imagine the great stuff we could do in America? If people cared about health care as much as they cared about their right to carry a pistol with them, concealed armor, concealed pistol, can you imagine the progress we could make in the United States? As long as we're going to have this right to bear arms, we're always going to have collateral damage. And I ask, how many dead kids is the acceptable level of dead kids that we can have every year? How many school shootings are okay? I would argue none. I would argue that the rest of the world has figured it out. I go into Walmart when I'm in the States, and I don't think half the people in the Walmart when I go in the States should be able to carry a gun. I don't think you should be able to carry a gun if you haven't graduated high school. Call me crazy, but that's just how I feel. And to do nothing, or to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, is insanity. I mean, Albert Einstein said that. So we're at a crossroads. So although I started this feeling hopeless completely, I don't anymore, because I feel like there's enough people my age and older that, there's got to be at least 60% of the people in the United States that agree with me. The rational people go, yeah, this is not normal, this isn't okay, we shouldn't accept this, and we can affect real change. But we got to stop listening to the people that are getting paid by the gun lobbyists, because you know what, in DC you can't have a gun. I understand in Chicago you can't have a gun, and there's a lot of gun violence in Chicago. I feel that Chicago is an outlier, but the politicians don't want people around them to have guns. Why is that? So they're protecting themselves, but we're not getting the protection that we need as well. We have to seriously look at things as a society, and to say it's mental health and to say it's video games is ridiculous. It's not what's happening. Come on, guys. Let's be rational. So feel hopeful. I think it's important for everybody to educate themselves on the subject, to stay positive. Most importantly, I really just hope that we can stop this division. That's the biggest thing that I took away from being in the United States. And I understand it's happening everywhere. It's happening in Europe too. But like this idea of looking at other people like the enemy, it's just dangerous. It's just dangerous. These people that are doing these shootings are buying these guns legally. The argument that they're going to buy the guns anyways, or the criminals are going to buy the guns anyways. These scared little boys that are 21 to 25 or 19 years old, I don't see doing that. Obviously you have to be a coward to do what they do, and you just want to go out with a bang. Yeah, I think that these people need help, of course, but they're going to have less access to hurt someone. When you're going to wear earmuffs and go into a Walmart and shoot it up, these aren't people, in my opinion, that are going to grab knives and get in real nice and personal. It's just, I don't see that happening. It's easy to pull a trigger if you're crazy, I guess. So I apologize if I went on a tangent, guys. I really believe in this, and don't forget to register to vote and realize that your voice matters and that change is real, and also realize that the silent majority of the United States really believes that there needs to be a change. Rational people believe there needs to be a change. Don't be afraid to speak out. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one.